Hello Game Makers, this is GameMaker Rob, and today we are going to do the Multiple Monsters Part 2. We cover things, for example, like monsters casting spells, and we cover a few things we missed out from last time, like heroes dying in battle and the exit and return spells not working properly. They didn't cost mana and didn't end a turn. And also we have status effects. Let's get started. Originally, I wasn't going to add status effects, but one of my patrons, Ark, suggested it in my Discord channel, and it is a staple of RPGs and it's not too hard to integrate, so voila, status effects. If anybody else wants to join my Discord, you are more than welcome. The link is in the description box as always. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take out the useless message for where it says item can't be used like this. We're in the step event of the player. We are in show menu and then inventory, and then here where we have the message, just take it out, we don't need it. And there wasn't really any problem with the inventory. It works just like the magic. So I thought I hadn't finished it last time, but I had. It's just because I changed how it's going to work. So that's that done. So the next thing we need to do is to update the code for heroes dying in battle. In the OBJ hero step event, we're going to comment out the player is dead region, and we're going to have something like this. So if hit point is less than or equal to 0 and not dead, then we're going to find this hero's position in DS Heroes and delete them from it. And then we're going to say that particular character has died, and then set dead to true. This is to stop all this code running again. So the other thing we need to do is in Battle Spawner, in the monster region, at the very bottom, this code where we check fear of death, we're going to comment this out too. We don't need it. We're only going to be checking for one place for where the party is defeated, and that's going to be inside. Sorry, I probably went a bit fast. Let me just show you the monster turn again. So just make sure all of this is commented out. Don't worry about these 8.14 ones for now. Just do the 8.11 ones. So just comment this out, and then in the next actor region here, so we're past where we're checking for the size of the list. We are setting up the current actor. Where it says if player turn is true, we're inside player turn is false, which is this bit, and we're checking for party death. Basically, if the size of DS Heroes is 0, then there's no heroes left, they're all dead. So we're going to set option state to battle over, victory state to monsters 1. We don't need this anymore because we have more than one hero. And then we're just going to say the party's fallen and set a visible string to that. Okay, I also forgot to check exit and return last time, and I discovered that they don't cost MP and they don't end the hero's turn. So I've changed that. We're inside the option state equals item, and if choose hero and choose target is false. After the switch statement, we're just going to check if the spell is exit or return, and if it is, then we're just going to say option state is done for items, and that'll end the player's turn. And then if we go down to magic, so if option state is magic, we're within the choose target, choose hero is false again. After the switch statement, it's very similar. We're just adding the remove MP from the current actor, and again this will end the actor's turn. And we're also going to make a small change to the attack script. It's mainly just for the text, because we've got more than one hero, we want to see who is being attacked. So we're just going to change the text to reflect the target name in there. That's why this bit's changed, and that's pretty much it for the attack script. Another bug that I found during testing is that if we reload a game, then if we haven't saved it in, then it's going to ask us to input our name again. That's because we're saving from the step event of name creator. And it's because of how our save system works, like an emulator save state. So all we're going to do is we are going to take this stuff, we're going to comment this stuff out of the name creator, and we're going to go into obj init, and we're going to add a new game state. We just do Control F and search for eGame state. It should take you right there. And we've added save the game as a state. That's so we can go into this end step event, and then after it says state equals new game, we're just going to check for save the game, and we're going to run the save the game script inside there, and that's going to prevent us from having to re-enter our name every time we die. Okay, so now we can actually finally move on to having the monsters be able to do more than just attacking with their slime. Don't know how that works exactly, but anyway, so we are in the init event. No, we're in the create event of obj init, and we're in the monster stat region. Inside monster stats, we are adding four new enumerators, whether they know heal, dart, ball, and their battle type. So in an RPG, you're going to have lots of different monsters, I would imagine, and you might have at least a few of them that are going to act and fight in the same way. So to hopefully make that a bit more streamlined and simpler, we're going to assign a battle type to each monster. And the battle types that I've come up with so far are always attack, so that's just what we have now. They only ever just use the attack option. Heal self, so if their health, I set it to below, if it's below 50%, I think, then they'll heal themselves. Heal others, so if themselves or anyone else, any other monster is damaged, they will try and heal them. It's first come, first serve basis, based on, it's basically the monsters closer to the left hand side you get healed first. And then we've got magic rare, magic sometimes, magic often. They all do the same thing. It's just a percentage based chance on whether they're going to cast a spell or whether they're just going to use the attack option. Status effect often. Basically, they're going to check whether heroes are poisoned or asleep, and if they're not, they're going to try and do that to them. I haven't actually given any of those spells to any monsters this time. It'll be in for next time. That's why there isn't a nose sleep or nose poison, and we haven't even added that to the spells yet anyway, so we'll get round to that today. But for now, we're just going to set up the monsters to allow them to use extra attacks. Okay, so we've covered battle types. To save ourselves having to copy and paste and type nose, heal, nose, magic dart, and magic ball for all the monsters, we're just going to use a for loop and set them all to false. And then whenever you want a monster to know a particular spell, like heal or magic darts or anything like that, then just add it to the entry for now. And also set their battle type. So I've got slimes as healing others, blue slimes as magic sometimes, and Demon King as magic often, although I haven't really fought against him. One thing I'd like to do is have like a boss specific battle type, maybe one for each boss. So in here we'd have, say, Demon King, and then we could make it as fancy or as complicated as we wanted to, because it's going to be specific for them. Could even introduce, say, unique effects that only the Demon Lord is going to be able to do compared to other bosses. Okay, so now when it's the monster's turn in the monster region of battle, the step event, they're going to be running a script. It's going to be called SCR Monster battle script, and this is the script. So I've just copied this in here just to remind me of the different types there are. And I also set this up with more spells in mind. For example, you'd expect there to be more than one heal spell, like a more powerful heal spell. At the moment, you don't even need to assign heal spells to any monsters in order for them to use the spell. And you don't actually have to give them any spells at all, even for the magic damage ones, because they're just going to use the default of magic dart if they don't have an extra spell. I'm hoping this will be easy to modify to incorporate more spells in the future. That's something I'll do. Okay, so we're going to give it one argument. It's going to be battle type, so it's just based on what particular monster we're fighting right now. If it's always attack, then just run the attack script. If it's heal self, then check if the current actor's hit points is less than half. If it is, then run the heal script. We also need to update the heal script and the magic damage script. We'll be doing that after I've gone through this one. If it's heal others, then we're going to use a for loop to search through the whole list of monsters that are alive, and then if any of them are below 50%, then that's the one that's going to get healed. We have a variable called has healed, and we're going to set it to false. After it's searched the for loop, if it finds someone to heal, then has healed gets set to true. Otherwise, this is still going to be false. And after it's done all this, if has healed is still false, then we're just going to run the basic attack script. As I said, there's nothing in the status effect, so we should probably just do SCR attack for now. And so for the 3 magic ones, rare, sometimes, often. Rare has a 10% chance, sometimes has a 40% chance, often has 70%. We're just going to get a number between 0 and 99. If that number is less than chance, then we're going to cast a magic spell. So as I said, we're going to have a default spell of magic darts to make sure that even if you don't give the monster a spell, it can still cast something. We're also going to check for a stronger spell. The only other spells I've got is magic ball, so we're just going to check for that. Ideally, what I think we would do in future is have different magic types, so whether it's a magic damage spell or a healing spell, and then we can just search by that type to see what spells the monster knows. That'll be an easier way to do it, because we don't want to have an if statement for every single spell. We just want to use where's it gone? We just want to use a for loop, and it'll save us a lot of time. It just means adding a few more things, that's all. And so after it's checked which spell we're going to do, then we're just going to cast a magic damage spell. So now that we are up to that point, you may or may not have noticed that we are passing different variables into SCR heal and SCR magic damage. We're now passing min val, max val, and a target. So who is going to be the target of the spell, and it's the same for magic damage. We're going to pass minimum value, maximum value, and who is the target. So, this is because the spells have to work whether it's a hero or a monster using them. We don't want to have different scripts for different, for one for monsters, one for heroes. That's just making it extra work for ourselves, because if we ever want to change things, then we've got to change it twice. It's just harder to manage, so it's better to put in the extra time making a script that's going to work for both. So inside SCR heal, we're updating this bit to reflect we want min value, max value, target. We've added a new parameter, which is the target. Make sure this also reflects what we need. I've commented this out because we're now storing the target ID within a variable called target, so we're not going to be referencing the heroes inside the heal script. This is what allows us basically to use it for monsters and for heroes. This hasn't changed apart from target. And then just make sure you've got the same text, because we want target.name was healed for X amount. And I don't think this has changed either. And then for SCR magic damage, again, we've got 3 parameters: min, max, target, and we've got it up here as well. We're setting up the variables based on the arguments for the script, and then we've commented out this and replaced it with target.hit equals true, and we're going to make the target lose their hit point as well. And we're also going to display who was actually blasted for damage. And that's it. Okay, so because we have changed the required arguments for these 2 spells, we're going to need to search throughout our code to make sure everything else is updated. There's a fairly easy way to do that, and we're going to do Control, Shift, and F. Type SCR heal, and then find all. And then in search results, you can see all the cases where SCR heal pops up. We don't need to go inside monster battle script. We don't need to go inside SCR heal, but we do need to go inside the step event of the player. So the first one is, I believe, we're inside the inventory region. All we're doing is we are adding min val and max val, and then we are using those values to send to SCR heal. OBJ player is just a placeholder because we need to send 3 arguments. The heal script itself is going to check to see if we're in battle, and because we're not, it's just going to heal the selected hero. That's why we don't need to worry about that this entry too much. As long as we have 3 arguments, we're good. You might as well update this line as well for SCR magic damage because it's right next to it. Then the second one, 1274. So this is for the magic one. So we're in menu states equals choose spell target. Again, we've got min val max value, adding that to SCR heal. And then battle spawner, line 536. So we're in cast a spell region. Again, we are setting min val max val here and passing it to SCR heal. It probably would have been better to just do it inside the script, but this is where we're up to now. Again, we're passing the same values to SCR magic damage here. Done this one. Don't worry about poison and sleep just yet. We'll get around to that in a minute. We just want to make sure we're updating all the scripts. And then 650. So we're inside the cast spell on target region. And again, we've got min val, max val. We've got SCR magic damage here. And we've got SCR heal there. And then if we do a search, Control Shift F for SCR magic damage, probably get a few repeat results. Check this one. No. I think we've already got this one because it's near heal. And is that right? If you haven't got this one, then just make sure you do. And then 1240. Pretty sure we've done this one already. battle spawner line 529, and then 642. So as long as you search throughout all your code and we have 3 arguments, then we are good to go. Otherwise we'll get a crash. Okay, so now we're going to get on with the status effects. So inside the create event of obj init, we're going to go into spells. I'm going to add poison, and we're going to add sleep. The order in which we have these enumerators is also going to be important because of our check magic script. So this for loop is checking the nose spells inside the player array against the list of spells in the enumerator, and if they're not in the same order, then it's going to give us the wrong spells, basically. So the order of this, as long as this order matches what is in this order here, as long as that order matches, then we're okay. So let me just cover this first. So we've got poison and sleep, and then we've got a new poison enumerator here. All we need to track is the turns that the actor is poisoned for and the damage per turn the actor is going to suffer. And let me just check player stats. We need to add nose poison and nose sleep inside the EPL stats as well. Let's just create the poison script now and the sleep script as well. So str poison, we're going to send it a min val, max val, and target, just as we do the other scripts. So how long is the poison going to last? I've just decided to set, a random range between 3 and 6. Damage per turn is between min val, max value. With target, so we're going to have an array. When we create the hero and monster objects, we're going to have a new array called a poison inside every object, and it's going to keep track of how many turns they're poisoned and how much damage per turn they are going to take. And then we're going to make the target run their hit animation and just have a message to say the target is poisoned. How this is going to work, how status effects is going to work is when next actor runs and it grabs the next actor, before the actor can use its own turn, it's going to take any poison damage and it's going to check whether it's still asleep or not. If the poison damage kills it, then it's going to lose its turn. If it's still asleep, then it's also going to lose its turn. Let's go into SCR sleep as well. Pretty simple. Just need a target. It's going to be 50% chance of being sleep. So we can just use choose true or false. Choose will return, it basically returns one of its options. So it returns, like I said, one of the given arguments. So whatever arguments you put inside the brackets, it's going to give one of them. That's all it's for. So target.asleep is going to equal one of those. Again, asleep is going to be a new variable. If target's asleep, then give this message and run the hit animation. Otherwise, just say it's failed. Okay, so now we're going to go into the step event of obj battle spawner. And we need to do some modifications when we are creating the monster and hero. Monster's hero, sorry. So inside with the new monster, when we're setting up each monster, they're all going to have their own poison array and set turns poison to 0, damage per turn to 0, and they're also going to have a variable called asleep just to track the status. And the same thing in heroes, just adding the same array and same variable. I don't know if I missed out choose hero from last time. I got an error message yesterday when I was running the game. It's the first time I had that though, so I might have just deleted it myself. So just make sure we have choose target and choose hero inside setup variables. And then what else has changed in next actor is previously we were setting option state to main or monster's turn. This time we're going to set option state to check status, because at the start of every actor's turn we want to check the status. So that's why we've got these 3 checks here, or setting it to check status. Then we have a brand new region. Let me just minimize this so it's a bit easier to see. So we're inside battle is in progress. After screen shake, we've got this region here, and it's between screen shake and pressed OK. So we're checking if we are in check status, and we're also checking that the current actor still exists. This is because potentially, well, when a monster dies, the object gets deleted, so it may no longer exist. Here, this one is checking if the actor is poisoned. If he's poisoned, then the turns is going to be greater than 0. Then we're gonna. One thing I didn't show is we have a new variable called timer. So inside setup variables, we've got timer equals 0. This is just so we can have a bit of space between checking status and going into anything else. And then in check status, timer is going to be equal 0 on the first step. So we're gonna work out the damage to the actor, then damage them, reduce the turns that they're going to be poisoned by, show the hit animation, and show the message that they've been damaged. Then we're going to run the timer. When a timer reaches this amount, we're going to check to see if the actor is dead, which is what that does. If the actor doesn't have any hit points left, then set current actor to no one, and change the option state to next actor, and that will go back up to here, and it will do all that stuff again. Okay, so they may also be asleep as well. So if they're asleep, there's a 50% chance of them waking up. If they have woken up, then show this message. And then we want to continue their turn. Otherwise, if they are still asleep, then show this message and just go to the next actor so they lose their turn. And then let's check where this else statement. So basically this area is for when they're poisoned. Else, if they're not poisoned, then check for sleep. So again, if they're asleep, 50% chance of waking up. If they've woken up, then show that. If they have woken up, then either set option state to main or option state to monster turn. This is just copy and pasted from what we had in this here before we change it to check status and timer equals 0. So it's just been moved into this area. Else, just say the actor is still asleep and go on to the next actor. And then this final else is if the current actor doesn't exist anymore because he's been destroyed, set him to no one and go to next actor. And that is pretty much it. We just need to update the spells. So if option state is item, then we've got this for poison for sleep. basically the same as for Magic Ball or Magic Dart. And then in this bit here, so if choose target equals true or choose hero equals true, then we've modified this a bit. So if it's Magic Ball or Magic Dart, then just do this script. If it's Poison, then run Poison script. If it's a sleep, then cast the sleep script. That's pretty straightforward. Basically, because any spell where we want to target a monster is going to be one of these. So they should all go there. And then it's going to be similar to them in the magic area as well. So we've just added Poison and Sleep on here. This is the same as that. And that should be it. I believe we have covered everything. Just run the game. Everything should be working. If you want to test the heroes casting spells, then all you got to do is add these lines here. So no Poison, no Sleep, and they can start casting them on the monsters. I didn't do the monsters one yet, although it should be pretty simple just to give them the status effects as well. That's going to be in for next time. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will catch you next time. Bye for now.